Vibe Show 97.9. What's the business? What it do? What's going down? Happy Thursday to everybody. Listen, we got a major exclusive tonight, man. We got a special guest joining us on the show tonight. I'm talking about dreamer, inventor, writer, entrepreneur. This guy right here, man, wears multiple hats. Also a toy inventor. I definitely want to dive in on that. We got the big debate going on tonight too, man. I know people going to be tuning in to that tonight, man. Make sure you got your popcorn ready, man. You know it's going to be a show. Donald Trump. It's going down. Right now, man, we talking about Corey WILCOX right now is my special guest, man. I want to go ahead on and get this brother in here because we about to get this thing popping, man. It's the one and only Corey WILCOX. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, man? I had to get in here early, man.
Hey, man. Corey, man, listen. Corey been here since an hour ago. Corey been ready an hour ago. That's what I'm talking about, man. Preparation. It's good for the soul, man. His brother's never late, man. I love it, man. What's going on with you, old King, man? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
Man, it was only right that we have you on, Corey, man. Come on, man. You got big things popping, man. You're doing some amazing things out here. You got this best-selling book right now, Baby Momma Drama, man. I've actually got in several emails from some people, man. Guys definitely inquiring. Title alone, man, got people antennas up. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to thank you for this amazing opportunity from the whole team.
Thanks, man.
Now, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Shout out to Jacqueline Martinez Snow on the check-in. We got a lot to talk about, my brother. A lot to talk about. I'm very, very excited about this.
Let's talk.
Let's get it in. What I'm talking about. Now, I would like to start off with, being a dreamer, man. I want to start off there because it just seems like, and I love the fact that I really connected with that, being a part of your title, because I'm a dreamer as well. But, I kind of feel like the space that we're in, right now, man, a lot of people not dreaming anymore. A lot of people don't have dreams no more, or their dreams might have been shattered or whatever. Let's start there with you being a dreamer and continuing to be a dreamer and making your dreams come true. Let's talk about that.
Well, yeah, like you say, I'm a dreamer, man. I've been just like with the product, man, the Roto Brain. It took like 6 years to make that thing, man. And before that, it took almost 14 years for me to even get a deal. So I've been dealing with innovation and trying to get products made for years, man, and getting rejected over and over. And you get depressed and feel sad, man, because you like, man, I got all this talent and all these gifts and don't nobody want them.
Now let me ask you this: in the midst of that too, with being a brother inventor, would you say that may have tied into a couple of the doors being closed as well?
Sometimes I used to think that, but a lot of times, like, they can't see you. A lot of times, but I have, I've been in New York to the toy fairs, and some people I met, they see me, they eyes get big because I got braids, and they like, you make toys. I get that all the time. Every time people see me, they say, you make toys, man. I say, yeah. Yeah, it just I don't look like the type of guy, which is was messed up, because just because I'm black with braids don't mean I'm not intelligent, but that's I get the dirty looks every time.
Right. Until they actually tap into what you have to offer, and then they're wowed and amazed by the things that you create and your brilliant mind. Now, on the inventor side, let's go back to adolescent a little bit, because I want to kind of tie it all in with that career path, because I don't really see that too much, I guess in the space where I'm from. guys choosing to take that path to be, inventors and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Let's talk
Right.
about that a little bit with what sparked that interest at adolescent, and then we can bring it on up.
Right. I always believe everything is a God given talent, right? I always
Mhm.
believe God give you the talent and the gift to go forward. But I was that type of kid. You could ask my mom this. I was that. Well, she probably don't even know this, but I was that kid that she bought me a Christmas gift. I don't
Right.
care, birthday gift, Christmas gift, whatever it was. I'm taking it apart. Period. Like I
Come
want to see
on,
how it
man.
worked. I want to see how the toy worked, man. I want to see how it functioned. I want to know everything about the toy. So as a kid, that always intrigued me. Like, man, how do people make things? How do they get plastic to stick together? How do they get colors on there? So that really intrigued me to really dig deep into developing toys myself.
Wow. Now that's interesting. To hear you say that, you say you're the type to want to take it apart, see how it's actually put together. That's a different mentality at a young age. Was there like anybody else or anybody else in the family that may have inspired that? Because that's different too, because we are destructive at certain ages where we want to break
Right,
stuff up, or something like that, or maybe cut something open to see how it is or whatever. All different types of layers of it. But
right,
to want to actually, tap into how it's created. How did they do this? I want to know how to do this. That's special right there. That's special.
right. I mean, I was the young guy always in my room, right?
Mhm.
Close the door, pour all my toys on the bed and just take them apart, put them back together. I was that type of kid, sit in the corner type of kid. It's funny, my daughter do the same thing right now. My daughter, my butt, when I go in my daughter's room right now, she in the corner just with something in her hand. I was the same way when I was a kid. It's funny how the kids, do the same thing as you do. But that's what I did. I was, you go outside a little bit, but most of the time I was sitting in the corner playing with toys, taking them apart, putting them back together. That was my thing as a kid.
Right. So, but what, you had a lot of friends, or you were kind of introverted to the point to where you kind of like stayed to yourself a little bit.
I was kind of I was kind of both introvert and I kind of you kind of want to go outside, but uh, I mainly stayed in the house, man. You want to call me a nerd? Hey, I was a nerd, man.
Hey man,
But
ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. My kid in that space, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that too. Now going into that makes sense with going into the in inventing space. Did you know, like, right out the gate that you wanted to go into that space, as far as like going to school and stuff like that? Did you know that you want to go into that space as far as a career, or you kind of, how did you end up heading down that path?
to be honest with you, growing up in the hood, right? Okay,
Mhm.
we don't want you. It's like you can't go around like, hey, I'm an inventor, man, and everybody just gonna be like, hey, that's not the cool thing to say. So,
Right, right.
I wasn't, you kind of stray away from your path as you get older. As I
Mhm.
became a teenager and stuff like that, I'm kind of like, I don't want to do that. And plus,
Right.
there was nobody there to actually tell you because that's another thing about in the black community, like it's nobody that looks like me at that time that looked like me to say, "Hey, I'm an inventor. This is how you do it." So you kind of with the hood environment, and there's nobody to actually talk to you to tell you what to do. You kind of stray away and start doing other things and running the streets and stuff like that.
Right, right, because you can unconsciously become a product of your environment,
Right,
especially like you said, if you have an interest in a talent and a skill in something, but yet you're not really seeing, other, like you say, other inventors, to gain inspiration off of it or whatever. Then that dream can kind of die. That skill can kind of not be being utilized. So I definitely can relate to that right
right.
there. So would you say that you kind of steered off the path for a minute?
Yeah, I stayed off the path, but creativity was always in me. That's what's crazy. Like creativity was always in me. So wherever I did, it was always tied to creativity. So when I went to college, I actually went to college for marketing, for fashion
Mhm.
marketing, because I always wanted to have my own clothes, design
Right.
my own clothes. So it always tied me back to my creative side, to invention, to being innovative. So yeah, so just tied me in all the time.
Right, right. I definitely get that. I definitely get that. Now, because the thing that's remarkable about it, is the different skills too. So, the writing ability. So, did you pick up your writing ability, further along as far as like in school, or where did you pick up the passion to for your writing ability?
I always wanted to write, but I never truly pursued it. Right, like I say, it's not cool when you went high school. At least I don't know how high school is now, but when I was in high school, that stuff was never talked about. People
Right.
never discussed that type of things. It was always play sports,
Sports.
basketball, football. It was stuff like that. So you don't think those things are cool,
Right.
And it's like I said, I got kids now, so I always emphasize to my kids, to be different, man, to do the things that's different from what everybody else do, because that's where the true talent and gifts are. Is doing something that ain't nobody else doing, because everybody do the same thing right now. If you look at any high school, middle school, all they talk about is sports, man. Don't nobody talk about inventing. Don't nobody talk about writing. None of that stuff.
Right. Now, you know what? I like that. I like that point right there. Do you think that that's part of the reason why? And it's also too, as parents, play into that motive as well.
Right.
As far as the direction of what you need to do or whatever. If you need to play be an athlete, or it's not really being pushed as much, in these other career paths that's out there or whatever, like what you're saying right now. Do you think that kind of attributes to the atmosphere of the culture, as far as the colored culture,
Right. Yeah.
now?
Yeah, I definitely do. And also too, like if you don't know who you are as a person, how can
Mhm.
you tell your kid how to find out
Mm,
who they
that's
are?
deep.
If you don't know,
Yeah.
that's something I always tell people. Like if you don't know who you are, then what can you tell your kid? And
Right.
it's no disrespect or no bash to my own mother. My mom was a hardworking woman, but
Right.
that's all she knew was to get a job. So when I was growing up, that's all I was ever told was go get a job. Go,
Go to school and
go,
get a
go,
job.
yeah, go to school, get a job. And I'm like, that stuff, like it's multimillionaires who don't even finish college. It's
At all.
multimillionaires who don't even finish high school, man. And it's like,
Got GEDs if they got that. They
yeah, it's like, why
learn
people
to do
can't
the
grasp
right
that?
thing. You know what? That's amazing, man. And that's so true, because half of the most wealthy people are surrounded by the ones that has the most smarts and intelligence. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I just think that that's so important, because like at the age, and it goes back, you can't really blame, we can't blame our parents, because we'll be blaming a long list and line of
Right.
this grandmama and them before them,
Yeah.
what they was taught.
Right.
It's
Right.
always a product of what they were taught. But then we as parents in our generation, we tend to try to alter that narrative with our own seeds, and try to install different stuff in them, and broaden their horizon and their mind and their thinking process of, like you said, like how you're raising your kids, like, hey man, you can be something else.
Right.
You know what
And
I
I can
mean?
tell you, like my book, right? It's of course I got a 14-year-old son, right?
Uh-huh.
It's just funny. I was talking to my son this is like 2 weeks ago, man, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, man, I want to go into stocks." I said, "Hey," so I'm all pumped. I'm like, "Yeah, do something different, right?"
Right, right.
So I said, "You talk to your mother about it." He's like, "Yeah, man, but my mom got mad at me." I said,
Right,
"Why?" He said, "Well, my mom want me to go to school, to go to college," and I said, "Why?" I'm like,
right.
that. I mean, not knocking. I'm just like, "Well, why?" He was like, "Well, she told me she never went to college." So since she never went to college, she want him to go to college. And I said, that
Right.
don't that don't make no sense, man. Like, Like, I'm like, why not push something that you interested in right now? Like I told him, I said, you never know, man. What if you become a millionaire off of learning stocks or trading stocks and doing whatever as a youngster, because that happens.
Right.
It's just his perspective. You know, he was looking all sad. I'm just like, man, it's just crazy how parents think. You know, like, man, like your kid coming to you with something, with a dream, and you squash it right there in their face. You know what I'm saying? Like right there in their face. Nah, don't do that. Do something else. And it's like, where do you even get that? Just for me, man. It's just I don't understand it. You
I
know?
mean, it's not just for you. I'm connecting. I'm connecting with it all the way, you know, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot of other people, a lot of other listeners out there that's connecting with it too, because you know, I just feel like if you want different, you know, we have to think different.
Right.
You know, and like you said, it's not fair to crush a dream, you know, at the door like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like you said, you know, different times, different eras that we living in now, things have changed. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like you know, and as you get older and you start doing, you know, doing research and start discovering new things, you know, and doing a lot of reading, a lot of research, and you just be amazed, because you're like, man, I wasted a whole bunch of time,
Right.
you know, doing this and didn't really get anything out of it.
Right. And that's what happens. It's
The whole nine.
right. And you know, it's funny, like the Bible, right? God talk about when the Bible, God talk about renewing your mind, right? That's throughout the whole Bible, right? Renew your mind, change the way you think, and
Right.
that's something like that's what changed me, man. I started changing the way I was thinking, because mind you, too, I still grew up in that same environment. You know, I still had the same steps. You know, would go to college, then college didn't work out, go get a job. You know, then of course that job is not making you happy because that's not your gift and talent. So it doesn't, it doesn't keep you going. So you end up, going off doing other things. But when I figured out, hey, renew your mind, change the way you're thinking, that's when things started looking different. And I started going on a different path.
Right. I definitely get that. You know, what's strange is, you know, once you learn something and you try to pass that wisdom on, a lot of people not receptive to new things, you know,
Right.
or questioning something that they've been taught, you know,
Right.
for a long time. Because it's like, you know, I find myself in certain conversations with my mom. You know, I think that now she's a little bit more receptive to certain things that I conversate with her about. But before, you know, she was taught a certain, and I don't blame her, but at the same time, I do make attempts to try to have real conversation, real dialogue with her, just to open her mind up to see it another way. Like, you know, ma, like, you know, with this, you
Right.
know, and now she's like, well, you know what, son, that do kind of make a list. I'm just saying, because I'm not trying to sway your thinking. I'm just trying to make things make sense. If it doesn't make any sense, it just don't make any sense. You can't make it make sense.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because they don't want us to think,
Right.
or think or ask questions. And when we start doing that, then, you know, we are looked at as a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
Right. Exactly.
the
It's like,
narrative.
yeah, it's just like shut up and sit down. That's like how they talking about LeBron James. Just shut up and dribble, man. Like they don't want
Yes.
black folks talking and asking questions, man. 'Cause then you're
Right.
gonna start asking the right questions, and then they got to answer it. You know. It's like just like Cube, man. Just like Ice Cube. People bashing that dude, man. That dude said, "I'm trying to close the wealth gap." I'm like, do anybody hear that dude say that, man? Like, did anybody catch that, man? Like, nobody understand that,
How do
man.
you feel about that? How do you feel about what's going on with Cube right now?
I think it's cool, man. I think like he stepped. If people really this the problem with people, right? And I always feel bad for black people, right? We always jump sides, right? If
Right.
people really look at what Ice Cube did, he went to both parties, man. Like he just said it, like I don't know how many times, but all we ever catch is the fact that hey, he sat down with Trump. I don't like that,
All we
and
hear.
that's all people hear, and they just run with it, man. Like that's it, man. That's the same thing even with dealing with baby mama stuff, man. This is like they one bad experience, y'all might have one argument or whatever, and it's just they run with that one argument, they take it to court, they use that one thing against you, and it's just like that don't make no sense, man.
No, Corey. I
What's
gotta
up?
keep up with y'all. Not, my brother. You just confirmed. You just confirmed. Now we about to get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation. And you confirmed it. Okay. Now let's get into it, because you might have been the first. I don't know. You might be the first brother to tap into that, because I can totally relate. What inspired you? Let's go. Let's get there. What inspired you to write the book Baby Momma Drama? Because the title alone speaks volumes.
Right. Well, okay. So this, like I said, my son 14. So I've been dealing with this for a long time, right?
Absolutely.
I was always the type of person that, let's say, when I'm at work, it's a group of guys talking, it might be, a couple females. I was always the guy that was talking about it, right? And I was always the guy that was getting mad about it, right? Like I was getting so mad, so frustrated, and everybody else and the women used to bash me and gang up against me, and all the guys used to just turn their heads. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all, man? Like y'all don't, like y'all don't have nothing to say, man. And it seems like nobody wants to ever talk about this, man. Like,
Right.
I don't understand it. We talk about everything else. We could talk about Ice Cube, right? We could talk about the
Donald
Black Lives
Trump.
Matter, man, Trump,
Yeah.
all that stuff. You could talk about how it's hard for Black women to be single parents. We could talk about all that stuff. When you say, hey, what about guys that go through stuff? Even the church don't want to talk about this, right? And I've been getting slack from that too, man. But the church don't want to talk about this, right? All they want to do, all everybody want to do is bash the guy.
That's the man.
When the guy bring this junk up, now I'm about to give you some real true facts. I remember
let's go.
I remember this guy at my church. He was a pastor, man. I remember this dude told me the reason why you going through what you're going through is because you chose her, you picked her. I said, wait a minute, man. That can't balance out, man. Because I said that's just like, what if a girl get with a guy and she don't know he really abusive in the inside, and like 2 years later he finally sock her or something. I said, we don't know a person, man.
Yeah, you ain't presenting the playbook when you ain't just opening up the playbook when you meet somebody like, hey, here's everything about me. Here's everything about me. Boom. Now you let's go out and date now.
Yeah, and just like women change, right? Women get pregnant, hormones change. Like that's what happened to my kid's mom. Like she was cool. As soon as she got pregnant, it was like, who the heck are you, man? Like she just flipped the switch on me. Now, man, I'm not saying I'm a perfect guy. No, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I wasn't that type of guy where you were just like, man, you can't see a kid and all that crazy stuff, man. So yeah, man. But at the end of the day, don't nobody want to talk about this stuff.
What do you think? I want to talk about it. What do you think is, because I can relate to this. What do you think is the problem with, okay, you being in a relationship, okay, and the relationship doesn't work? We decide to go our separate ways, or we break up, or whatever. Why are some of the women always holding vendettas, or especially if you move on with somebody else?
Watch this. Let me tell you.
Okay, let's go.
Look, so a woman, and this is not against women, just the viewers know, like, the book is not the bash woman. I'm just asking a quick question, man, because they'd come at me, right? But a woman can't physically beat you up, right? Okay, she can't beat you up. So it's only one thing that you can do, right? In that situation, is hit the pocketbooks or take the kid. That's it. That's the only two things you can do. So if somebody's upset and mad, that's the first thing they attack is, give me the kid. So they take the kid, they know that's gonna hurt you, because they know that's the only thing that can hurt you. Yeah, that's the only thing that gets you emotional, right? Because think about, go ahead.
But then if you, okay, with you knowing that that the kid is being weaponized, okay, cool. So you take a different approach, and you like, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna do some reverse psychology. It's gonna hurt, but at the same time, I gotta I can't display my love like that for the kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then, because
Right.
either way it goes, you're gonna get the bad daddy rap because you disconnected from the relationship. So either way it goes, you're gonna get the bad daddy rap regardless.
Yeah, I get it right now, man. Like 1 minute, I'm the best dad ever. The next minute, I'm the worst dad, bad dad, good dad. It happens all the time, man. It's like pick and choose one, man. Which one am I, man?
Fair, but it's not. I think it's a level of maturity as well, though, man. Because I don't think, and it just seems like you know, and I'm not saying everybody, man. I'm talking from a place of experience as well. I deal with my level of issues as well with having multiple baby moms or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it can be tough, man. It's tough because it affects your whole infrastructure around when you're trying to, merely just be in a good mental place and you can move on. That
Right.
don't mean that I hate you or anything like that, because I just feel like if you truly love somebody, you got to love them enough to be able to let them go
Right.
and
But two,
still want to see them happy.
right. But two, you got it's a whole system that's against guys. This is not women. Women know that. Women know the whole entire system is crumbling on guys when it comes down to this, man.
Right.
Like even like I don't know if people even know you pay a fee in child support, man. Like you pay the state a fee, man. Like
Oh,
it
really?
might say, yeah, it might say if you I don't know if people actually if you just like, all right, they just take the money out of my check. Me, I listen to that answer machine, how you call in and tell you break down your payments and it say $300 here, blah, blah, blah. And say your processing fee is $18. I'm like, oh, so y'all charging me to pay child support. So you some dollar signs to the state. They like
Wow.
you. Yeah.
Now, okay, so let me ask you this, because I don't know how long you have been on there, but I've been on there for a minute,
Since
and
day
then
one, man.
they passed a new law, and I didn't really tap into it too much, but um was that retro? Did they retro that, or it was just it picked up with the new child support people? It picked up with them, or did they retro that back?
No, I think it always been a processing fee, man.
No, no,
Um,
no, no, no. I'm talking about like the law that they passed, a retro thing that they passed, saying it was something to where they can't do the back pay thing on you anymore, because when I came in, let's just say like we've been dating, we was together for 5-6 years. The kid is six years old now, and we break up. Well, you get mad and then you go down there and you go, I'm putting you on child support. Okay, so you go put me on child support, and then you also get asked, an option. Do you want to retro this? And then
oh,
they have
wow.
to go all the way back to the day that the child was born.
I ain't know about that, man. Dang.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like that's it's a whole nother level of the game. Like how do you get that option? Because you can be an active dad for 6 years and then we break up, or whatever, and we ain't together no more. Then you get upset and you go and put me on child support. You get an option to put me on child support from that day, and also go all the way back to the day that the child was born and get back pay. So I'm already coming in the game, failure coming in the
Right.
game.
So I know when I first got put on child support, they talked to me for approximately like 10 minutes and they talked to her for like 45 minutes. All the
Mm.
guy said to me was,
Where you work
uh,
at?
yeah, where I work at, he was like, where's the checks, the receipts for checks and stuff like that. He was like, you giving her cash? And I'm like, no, because I whipped out a bunch of receipts. I said, look, man, I've been taking care, I've been spending tons of money on the kid every week. He said,
Right.
no, where the cash at? This is that words to me was where the cash at. I said, I don't
Mm.
give her cash. He said, all we work with is cash here. And he said, all
Oh,
right,
really?
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
He
a
was
guy
like,
talking to you.
yeah, yes, guy talking to me, Wayne County. Yeah, Wayne County. So after he said that, he was like, all right, go ahead and go back to the front. He called her back there. I promise you, it's back to like 45 minutes, man. I never forget that. This is like 14 years ago. I still remember it. And I remember they called me back and it was like, we decided that you're gonna pay this amount of money. I said, we? I
What?
said, what the like what about us? It was just we decided that you should pay this amount of money, man. And I was just like, wow, man. Like the system is crooked, man.
And then on top of that, that also affects your credit because it goes on your credit too
Right?
now.
Yep. Don't get
So,
behind on child support. They
that,
slapping on your credit.
that's
All
on.
three bureaus.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, that's a whole that's what I'm saying. So, and you can be a father like myself who okay, so when your circumstances and situation change, of course, physical time can become a problem. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Physical time, spending as much physical time could be a problem because you're not in the same household anymore.
Right.
You
And
know what
you
I'm
gotta go
saying?
to work.
And you get but you get penalized for that too because you're not spending no you don't spend no time with your kid. Then don't add into the equation moving on another relationship and you might marry that person and then of course y'all have a child too and then
Right.
another child's involved. So then that also intensifies the problem too because you're looked at
Right.
a certain type of way too because you don't want to have a child with another woman. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And building another family, and you didn't really build one over here.
Right. Yeah,
It's so
it's
many different layers.
right. And they attacked that too, because I this was crazy. My son, I remember he came to me, he said, Dad, man, my mom told me that you left her for your wife. I said, what? I
Wow.
said, man, what are you talking about, man? I said, your mom didn't want to be with me. He was like, nah, man. She said you left me and her. And it's always got to include him. He said, you left me and her when I was a baby. And I had to sit my son down, like, come on, man. Like I never do that to you, man. Now you got to explain yourself. That's the thing. We always on the defense. You always got to explain yourself every single time, man, no matter what
Right.
situation is.
So would that be the inspiration from your experience that you went through with your situation? Was that the inspiration for writing the book?
Right, yeah. Because I never wanted anybody to go through what I went through, honestly. Like, right? Because I went through a lot, man. Depression, sad, crying, you know, anger, all that stuff, man. And I was like, man, I don't want no guy to go through this stuff.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, guys need an outlet. Guys need somebody to talk to. Because that's the thing. If a guy has somebody to talk to, right? Let's say you don't have a kid and but you know somebody have a kid, you can slide them in the book. You can sit down and say, look, man, this guy went through X, Y, and Z. Read this book. It can help you, to calm down, man, to not go into depression, man, or to not want to get physical and harm her and stuff like that, man. Just bring you back to reality, man. Bring you back to life. Because like I said, I was losing my life.
Yeah.
If I can go back in time, man, I tell myself to live life, man. I wasn't eating none of that stuff, man. I was like just walking the walking body, man, every day, man. Because you don't know how to deal with it.
You don't know how to deal. You don't know how to deal with it, and I just don't think that in certain ways, I don't think that is fair. Um, I think that guys do get a bad rep. Even the ones that are, they got some bad baby daddies out there that don't do nothing for their kids, man. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But you got those ones that do the best that they can for their kid, via being disconnected from the situation. And they always get a bad rap, man. They always get a bad rap, and I just don't think that that's right because you're trying to make it, and sometimes they're living way better on the other side because
right,
not only are they getting a check, but they getting a portion of your check as well, and they also getting income taxes as well
right,
that they're not going to break bread with you either, not even wanting to alter the years. So I'm just saying to really say that you ain't never did nothing for the kid. I just think that that's kind of bogus to make a statement like that. Because if you really think about it, you wouldn't have had that 6,500 income tax check that you've been acquiring all these years. You got to tally that in as well. You know
right,
what I'm saying? How does that don't a credit for anything? Because it's not like you split it down the middle with me. You got all that, and I never bothered you about that aspect
right.
of it. But to say that you've never did nothing, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, and see that I was that type of guy when in conversations with other women and groups of women, man, I used to go in. Everything you saying, I used to go in and they used to attack me all the time, man. So what? Just work. That's why he's here. So what? Just get the job, man. So what? Just pay child support, man. Like my kid's mom tried to get me locked up like 2 years ago just because I wouldn't talk to her.
Come
Just
on.
because I wouldn't talk to her, man. You know, like I said, my
Got that
son's
bad.
14.
They
Yeah,
got
so it's yeah, and then but you know what's so bad is when I went down to the court,
mm-hmm.
the actual I think they referees, whatever they are, man. On this particular day, I was the last person, so everybody was gone, and it was lunchtime. So it was just me and the ref in the office, no other refs, no other people. And she straight up told me this. She said it's all about the money. I said, wait a minute, man. If it's all about the money, I said y'all locking guys up, but you don't want to get you don't want to get too hype in there because you might call
Yeah,
them.
yeah, you
Okay,
definitely too hype.
yeah. So she gonna call the sheriff on you something. But I'm looking at her and I'm saying, but that doesn't make sense. And she was like, well, only thing we can do is review your case. And they can try to lower it, or you can try to get custody and all this stuff. But she was like, yeah, that's all it's about is cash. She's like, it's not about anything else. And that just blew my mind, man.
So and it's not so in actuality, it's not about the kid,
It's about the cash.
it's about the cash.
That's all they talk about. You don't pay child support, what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna go to jail. That's all they say. Don't pay child support. I'm sending the sheriff, not kicking your freaking door. You know, that's it, man. It's sad, man.
That creates, but it also creates this picture in the kid's mind as well, because you're creating a false narrative about their father, about the
Right,
father, and I don't think that that's fair. Um, Nothing is fair about that whole system. Period.
right.
And me and my brother talk about this all the time, man, because we both have been victims of this. You know what I mean? And I mean, me personally, I'm not really going through it too much as far as with my kids' moms anymore, because my kids are older now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? The fight is over with from that part of it, trying to, because I used to feel some type of way as well. I used to feel some type of way to the point to where I used to question myself, like, man, like, damn, like, am I really that bad of a father? Because I'm basing it off of her story,
you
and
read my book, man.
I'm trying to have, of course, trying to have a conversation with her, not in an attacking way, but trying to show growth. And
Right,
it always, even now, even years later, my oldest son is 24 years old. Even years later, having a conversation would always result to back to me in some type of way. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Some type of way it's gonna always result to if I would, well, you didn't do, I did this, and and I'm saying to myself, like, yo, like you still like on that, like you're not showing no growth. You can't even acknowledge my growth because you haven't grown.
right. Yeah, and then that's the same thing. Even for me, that's the same thing with my kids' mom. Right? She was all good. You know, when I ended up getting laid off, had a real good job, ended up getting laid off. So she called me one day screaming, "Man, you know you need to come be a better father and all this and come see your son." I was like, first of all, I got a job and I got a family, so I got to go to work. Sorry that you put me on child support. You know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, but I can't miss no time because I'm missing time. My kid's not gonna eat with my wife, and then they're gonna take my check and give it to you. So I got to go to work, right? So
Right.
when I end up getting laid off, I said, look, I'm gonna spend more time with my son, right? I took it out. I said I'm gonna spend more time, and she, she was cool, right? She was so happy, man, because she getting child support, and on top of that, I had my son every day. I had my son like Monday through Saturday, dude, and she's still
Wow.
getting child support. Yeah, man, I was taking the basketball practice, you know, picking up from school, all that stuff, man. He was always with me, and she was so happy and cheesing from ear to ear because getting all this fat check child
You getting
support, man. And
you getting it
yeah,
all.
yeah, so look, man, it's a messed up system, man. It's
Okay, so my thing is this. where 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 do we find, how do we find a comfortable space, or is there a comfortable space? Like, what's
My,
the results of this, or have the book um helped you in any type of way, or may have touched somebody else in a certain type of way?
I could tell you, I had a young lady actually send me a message, and it just threw me off. I was like, and she was like, I read your book, and she said, I'll be honest with you. She said, I thought you exaggerated stuff. And I said, what? Because she was like, I am that. I'm a baby mama. And she was like, I thought you was just talking junk, man. I ain't believe it. And then she was like, but your book really actually helped me to see the other side of it.
Oh, that's dope.
Because she was talking about boundaries. That's a chapter in my book, Boundaries, where you talk about calling late at night, or every time you talk to her, same thing you just said, like you have a conversation about your kid, it always end up back to you and them and the
Back to the
relationship.
yeah.
Yeah, back to the relationship. And so she said, that really helped her look at her kid's father in a different light, man. And I was like, wow, man, I never thought that.
That's a blessing. Right. Right. I just think that it's a real situation, and it's a real, for people who've ever experienced it. Because like I say, by far, I'm not trying to sit up here and make it seem like I was the best, I get the best dad award and all this stuff like that or whatever, because you got to understand, man, it's different layers in this stuff. And when you have a kid at a young age, what are you supposed to know about being a father?
Right.
When still attached to your dreams, and still attached to trying to chase after whatever you chasing after or whatever, and but you made an irresponsible move. It's so many different layers that tie into it, you know what I'm saying, to the point to where it's like, what are you possibly supposed to know about being a father at 16, 17 years old, still in high school, your last phases of high school, playing, being an athlete, all of this stuff or whatever, having to disconnect from your parent, disconnecting you from all of that stuff, and just thrusting you to like, you got to be a parent now. Your basketball dreams and all that stuff is out of the window. You got to get a job. You're going to do this yourself. You was irresponsible. You got to do this. But then on the other side of that too, you grew up in a single parent home. So you don't even really know how to even identify
Right.
with that. I don't think that people really look at all of the layers of it as well, because I don't think that a lot of people just being bad dads. I just think that it just was no good examples.
Right.
What to do.
And that's what I'm saying. Like we go in this circle, man. And that's why I even jump back to the church, man. I'm not bash church. As you can see, I'm a Christian. I go to church and all that stuff. But I done heard pastors and YouTube channel pastors or whatever. All they do is bash guys. It's like we don't stop and say, okay, what's the problem? Right? We just keep going in the circle and just bash guys. Take care of your kid. Bash guys. Take care of your kid. So you do have a lot of guys more now taking care of their kids, but they're not in their kids' life. You know why? Because nobody is sitting down having a conversation and saying, look, this is what you should do, man. Think about this, for example. My wife just gave birth 2 days ago, right? Okay.
Congratulations, man.
So when she gave birth, everybody was calling, right? Hey,
Right.
she all right? She okay? She this?
Never
She that?
asked if you okay.
Yeah, nobody said, you all right, man? Even the nurses, you got all these nurses that do different shifts that come in and say, they don't care about you. I have some nurses just walk in, don't even talk to me, just talk to her, man. Nobody say, hey, brother, you good?
Right.
Like this, you need somebody to talk to you, man. You know, you need to cry on somebody's shoulder, man. I don't know what I'm doing, but you get the women, they mamas, the aunties, your mama might call them, you know what I'm saying? She getting diapers sent to her. Everything just goes to her. Everything is catered to her, and nobody sits down for 1 second to say, let's talk to this brother, man. Let's see what's going on in his head. Let's try to
How
sway
does he?
his thinking, man. Because if women actually think about it, if somebody did talk to guys when they're young, they first time parents, maybe that guy can change. I'm just saying if it's a bad dude, right? Maybe
Right.
maybe if somebody actually take the time out to talk to the guy, maybe he'll change. Maybe he'll look at stuff a different way. But we don't think like that. All we think about is, man, pay child support, dude, and get on, man. Leave
Right.
leave the kid alone, man. Pay child support, whatever. Move on with your life, whatever, man. This is not fair, man.
It's not. It's you know it's really really horrible at the end of the day. And like when you really really tap into it, you know, it really really is a legitimate conversation because, like you said, you know, nobody never really looks at it from that angle. You know, and we're supposed to be conditioned to just be like, ah, man, just pay child support. But there's so many different layers that go into it because you know you miss your kid. You know,
Right,
you know, and then you know by that disconnect, being there in that space in between, by being in two different households or whatever, a lot of jewels or gems that you can install into your kid at that adolescent age, to where, you know what I'm saying, because they're installing their programs in over on that side. And a
right,
lot of times it might not be it, you know, it's the, you know, hate the dad program. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Then when the kid come around you, you're trying to install your programs in, you know what I'm saying, to, you know,
right,
not really even bash the other side, but the
right,
other side bashing you. So the kid is coming over already with a point of view, looking at you a certain type of way, or coming over just for the good time, or to go, you going out to hang out, or for the gift or whatever, and that's the only attachment to it, because
right,
that's how they're being conditioned.
right. And it's like, how can a kid change, man? All you doing is a repeat of you. You know, you making a knucklehead kid out here, man. I just don't get it sometimes the way women uh just handle that, man. You know, even with my son, like his mom said, oh, you know, you can have him when he's 16. I said 16. Man, what, like what? Like, well, what about the rest of the years, man? You know, you suck up the child support, man. You know, it's just like, you only got 2 more years of child support. I can live my life now. You know, and it's just, your kid doesn't go nowhere, man. Your kid doesn't grow. It's just like even talking about the dreams, man, and stuff like that, man. If you ain't got no kid, I mean, if you ain't got no father that can sit down, because kids love talking to their dads, right? I mean, at
Right.
least I did. I love talking to my dad. My dad wasn't perfect, but I love talking to him. And you know, you can have that other parent that can say, "Hey, you can do this." You know, just like my son went to his mom, and his mom gave him a crazy answer, but then he had me to come to. You know, but if women continue to try to extend that gap, how can your kid grow, man? That's how I look at it, man. Like, all you do is destroy your kid. Forget hurting your kid. You destroy your kid, man. If you look
Right.
at society right now, man, we are being hunted down in this way, man. Ain't no questions, man. You know, they pulling guns on us and shooting,
and
off rip.
another thing too, you know, with not having that wisdom installed in, and that guidance and those examples too, you know, of how to handle certain situations when those situations arise, you know how to survive. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? Because, you know, I just feel like you don't have to always, you know, being a reactor to every situation, even in the most critical situations. Sometimes, you know, there's a survival way out. You know what
right,
I'm saying? That's just my way of thinking. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to the cop killings and different things like that or whatever, I'm just try to look at all layers of it. And I just always try um to look back and utilize the things that I was taught, the skills that I was taught from, you know, for whether it was my mom, my grandparents, or how to handle certain situations, or all of the teachings that I was taught. Hey, look, don't do this, or no, this is the
right,
reason why, because of this. I understand it as I got older. I connected with all of those things that I didn't understand when I was younger. But when I got older, I understood why she was so upset about that, why I got
right,
fussed at about that, why I was told not to go over here, why this, it all makes sense. And then when I get in these critical situations or whatever, why I get stopped, and it might have been one that was hot-headed that night or whatever, I made it out
right,
because I handled myself accordingly. I wasn't
right,
trying to ego, all of that stuff was out the window.
right.
It was about survival.
Yeah, and that's, but you always need the like I always say, two heads are better than one, right? But
Absolutely.
if you cut that other head off and you only gave your kid that one perspective, like what if the mom is a suburb girl or whatever, right? She don't know nothing about the streets, but the dad is a street dude. But you take all that, you take that street off, because what if dad can tell him, like, hey, this is how you handle police, this is how you handle this, this is how you handle that. But we always trying to separate, man, especially in the Black community, man. We always trying to separate, man. It's just like, even, I don't want to jump, keep jumping back, but even like with the Ice Cube thing, he come out talking about something, we just like, let's bash that guy. Next thing you know, we separated again, man.
We're banning him. We're done with Ice Cube.
Yeah, we done with this dude, man. It's like, what's wrong with us, man? As a Black culture, man. I just had this conversation with my mom and my brother, man, and he going through some stuff with his kid or whatever, man. And I was just like, dude, man, we need to stop, man. What's wrong with us, man? We can't sit down and talk, man. We can't sit down and come together, man. Like, this is a life. Like, we have to really start considering that, man. Like, this is a life. This ain't no dog. This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no puppy, man. This is a human being, man, that's gonna grow up to either be a good person or the bad person, and that comes down to his parents, man. It don't come down to nothing else. It comes down to mommy and daddy, man.
Man, that's a fact.
Yeah,
man. That's why, I always try to tell my son, man, I always try to tell my kids, I just try to be real with them. I don't try to sugarcoat anything. I just try to be transparent and try to be real with them and let them know the real. When they doing something wrong, I stop it immediately. I tell them, what could happen, and I just be real with them, man. And I just think that that's what time it is or whatever. How's your son? How's you and your son relationship at this present moment?
Just like I say in the book, right? I can call my son anytime I want. And this is just for y'all viewers out there, man, for you guys that you trying to figure out how to get around the moms. I don't know, man. I might have some bad baby mamas on here. They might know my secret, man. But what I do is I play video games with my son, especially since COVID now, right? You can't really go over their house and stuff like that because she doing her thing. You don't know what's going on over there and all that good stuff. She don't know what's going on in your house either. So what I do is I play video games with my son, right? We play Call of Duty, right? All night. And all we do is talk. And next thing you know, you look up, you can talk to your son for 2 hours, dude. Not seeing him, just talk to him. You know what I'm saying? You gotta figure out this. This is what I tell my brother, man. You gotta figure out the little nuggets, man. The little jewels to slip in there to have a conversation, man.
To not lose all the way around the board, to be able to get something.
Forget the buy-in Jordans and all this, all the gadgets and all this stuff, man. Have a conversation, man. I enjoy talking to my son more than anything else, man. And it's so crazy how my son to sit there and just shut up and listen. And it's a great feeling because I'm impacting this dude in such a strong way, man. So that's something I do, man. That's one of my little nuggets, man, that I do with my kid is play video games with him, man. Online all day, man.
That's dope. Vibe Show 97.9, man. I'm in here vibing out with the one and only Corey WILCOX. We just in here, man, talking about real life and vibing out, man, for anybody that's jumping on right now and tuning in to us right now. We're just in here vibing and just talking about some real life issues and real life situations too. I gotta ask you this too, man. Let's matter of fact, let's put those social platforms out there and ways that people can connect with you and ways that people can actually go and cop the book.
You can follow me on Instagram at Mr.Corey WILCOX. Facebook, same thing, Mr. Corey WILCOX. You can find a book on Amazon, Kobo, Apple Books. We just got some paperback copies, man, so you can purchase those now. If you're looking for the toy, the Roto Brains, Roto-Brain, that's on Amazon, Walmart. It's at Kohl's, and I think it's at one more store, but I can't think of the name of it. So, yeah.
Right. I want to talk about that too real quick before we get out of here, man. Vibe Show 97.9. Again, you're tuning in with me and the one and only Corey WILCOX, man. Look, I want to talk about let's talk about the toy. Let's give them a little bit of a little insight on that. What inspired you to come up with that and what exactly does it do?
All right. Well, this is it right here. Can you see that? That's the Roto Brain right there. And outside the box, that's what this is right here, man.
Sort of like a Rubik's Cube. Okay.
So let me give you a quick story on this, man. So I was going through a serious, deep depression. Just the deep depression, man. And I had this dream. No, actually, I go back. I take this back. I was sitting on a chair, and I was crying, man. Like for real, shedding tears, man. And I remember I prayed to God, and I said, you gave me all these creative ideals and all this good stuff, all these great ideals, and nothing never happens. Nobody never, wants to make a deal with me. And I said, can you give me something that will impact and change the world?
Right.
That same, you can ask my wife this stuff, man. That same night I had a dream of the Roto Brain. In the dream, I grabbed the toy, and when I grabbed the toy, I woke up and I bumped my wife. I said, "Hey, man, I just had this crazy dream, man." So I think God just showed me this toy, man. And she was just like, "Man, whatever, dude. Like, how we gonna pay these bills? You talking about a toy, man? How we supposed to pay these bills, man?" So I always tell everybody, man, this toy is inspired by God. I always tell them, God gave me the idea for it, man. And I ended up meeting this guy by the name of Phil Elliott, man, co-founder of Creative Brainworks, man. And I showed it to him, man. He loved it. And he said, "Hey, man, let's do a deal on it, man." So we ended up doing a deal. It took like 5-6 years to make, man. Because this technology, what you see does not even exist, man. It don't even exist in the world, man. It had to be created, man.
Hold up, man. We gotta clap up on that, man. Innovative.
Yeah, right.
So what exactly does it do, man? That's what I'm excited. I want to know what it does, man.
All right. So each level has 3 combination codes. Think of a master lock, right? Okay. So each combination, each row has its own code on it. Okay. So as you figure the code out, it's a knob in the middle of it that pops up. So it's level 1, 2, and 3. Okay. As you pop it up, level 1 say, okay, if you find a combination code, level 1 say, oh, complete, it'll pop up. Then you switch over to level 2, try to figure out the combination code, it'll pop up to level 2 complete. And then the same thing for 3. But every level, it gets harder and harder.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So then, but let's say, check this out. Watch this. Let me show you this. Let me show you something that's really fresh. Let's say you figure out the combination code, right? You say, I figured it out. Then you open it up. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get on that. You open it up. Oh, shoot. You open it up, right?
Right.
And you can create, and see these knobs? They turn. Now you can create your own code. You create your own color combination code, man. So then let's say, all right, and then you can pass this on to your friend. You can say, hey, man, you try to solve this, right? They can solve it. Now they solved it. They figured it out. Oh, shoot, I solved it. Now they can open it back up and do the same thing again, and change the code, man. So ours is, so this right here is so innovative. Like the Rubik's Cube ain't got nothing on this, man.
Right.
Ain't got nothing on this, because you can create your own code with this, man.
Right.
You can't do that with no Rubik's Cube, man. You just figure it. Once you solve it.
So that's something that could take a while, or it can be something that can be done, fast. You know what I mean? Wow, what's the fastest you've ever cracked a code? Or what's the fastest record that you might have heard that anybody have ever
on the Rubik's Cube? I seen this little kid, man, and do it in like 4 seconds.
Yeah, Chinese guy.
Yeah. He solved that one in 4 seconds, man.
He's a beast. Have y'all ever thought about sending him one of them?
I did think about sending that guy something. I
think you should, man. I think you should. I think you should, and I think that we should try to get it connected with. I want to get. We need to get with you on some marketing and promoting the product. We need to get together on trying to put that together or whatever, because I think that this is an amazing idea, and I think that we need to put it out there a little bit more too on our end, man. I love it.
Right. Yeah, I tell everybody too, man. You gotta think about it. You know who started invented the Rubik's cube was a German. The dude was from Germany, man.
Really?
He invented the Rubik's cube, and he invented that junk in like 1960 something. From that time on, been nobody except for me. That's what I
Man,
tell everybody, except for me,
crazy.
man.
So I'm pretty everything is done on the back end, so nobody can try to steal that idea.
No, this is licensed and patented. Um, can't nobody do nothing. Like I said, it's nationwide.
You ever took it to thought about taking it to Shark Tank?
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
When I originally created it, you kind of you want to, man, but that show is that stage, man. That's all stage, man.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
don't know that, but I just told the secret. Oops.
Come on, man. I just caught that, man. Go ahead, man. So why would you say that it's staged? Because I have seen some of the products that people who have been on there. I've seen some of the products actually in department stores.
Man, how I caught it is they slipped up one season and said something, and one of the Shark Tanks, the sharks, actually said they know the person. So I was like, wait a minute. I was like, so why? Like, what the heck? So I was like, oh, they brought him on the show, and the same person that knew him invested. So I was like, oh, all this junk is rigged, dude. It's all because it's a script, right? You gotta hype people up, man.
Right, right. I get it.
People just say, look, man, people ain't passing their money out like that. You talking about millionaires, man. I know a millionaire, dude. Like people just don't pass their money out like that.
Right.
They got to know you, man. Got to know something about you, man. Think about it. Well, hey, I wish they had a live chat on Shark Tank, and you can tell them, man, hold that pad up that y'all supposed to be writing on, and see what they writing on that thing, man.
Right, right, right.
Hey,
Man, listen, man, I enjoyed myself tonight, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know you're gonna have to come back on here again, man. We got to do you in chapters, man. Like we have to do several episodes, man. Like to
all
get it
right.
for real, man. I really enjoyed myself. And I want to thank you too, man, for hanging out with us a little bit tonight and sharing those gems and stuff. Where could people go and can they get they can get the toy as well on the website, right?
Yeah, you can go to the website CoreyWilcox.com. You also can go to Amazon. Just type in Roto Brain. You can type in Baby Momma Drama. It all pops up on Amazon.com. And let's change some lives, people, man. Let's talk about it. That's my lingo, man. With this, man, it's not just for all you women out there, man. I'm sorry if y'all think I'm talking about y'all, but I'm not. It's just an open conversation, man. That's all I'm having. Is let's talk about it, man. Let's break
We
this
just want
generational curse.
fairness, man. We just want fairness,
Yeah,
Corey.
yeah.
Let's just be fair and have an open conversation, but a fair conversation.
Right,
With the slate is and let's just everybody could share their thoughts and their views, and of course it's going to be several different viewpoints on this. You know what I'm saying? But at the
right,
end of the day, let's just have some good dialogue, good conversation, and be honest and be real about both sides of this, because at the end of the day, both parents, man and woman, are responsible for creating life, and
right,
it's both parties' responsibility to make the decisions that's best for the child involved,
right,
period. And about the relationship, if that don't work no more or none of that or whatever, that part, once we disconnect from that part, it's supposed to be primarily about the kid. You know what I'm saying? Whether being fair from both jobs. She might have a better gig than you. You know
right,
what I mean? So that means that we need to be fair about the situation. I might have better insurance at my gig. So
right.
look, we have to
Balance
work
it.
together. We have to balance it out and work together in order for it to work
Hey,
right for the greater of the kid.
hey, can I touch on something a little bit, man?
Yeah,
Something that
please.
bothered me real quick. I know you're about to jump off, but it
Yeah.
was a story that happened in the I can't think. It might happen in the South. I can't think. I don't know if you've heard of, familiar with it. The little girl that the two parents. Remember the guy had the big old show and he was crying like, man, we love the little girl. They found her in the lake. I don't know if it's like, yeah, like so. But the parents, the baby mama and her boyfriend killed the daughter. They beat her. I guess they whooped her so bad she ended up dying. I think they dumped her like in the lake, right? So they put this big old show on with the police and the news and was like, man, we love her and but neither one of them was crying, right?
Right.
But the whole point I'm making is when the dad showed up. I just want y'all women to know this, man. The actual parent, the other parent showed up. And this dude couldn't defend his daughter because his daughter is dead. Like somebody beating on his kid to the point that they kill him, and he just show up to the scene and just find out like
that his daughter's dead.
Like my daughter's dead. Y'all, like women need to think about that stuff, man. Like imagine if that was you. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude's daughter is dead because irresponsible grown-ups, and there's nothing you can do. You just show up to the scene and somebody just tell you, man, your kid dead, man. People need to think about that type of stuff, man.
Man,
it's not bad. It's not bashing nobody. It's facts, man. Like we as people need to think about that type of stuff, man. You know. All right. But that's it, man. That's one.
That's deep. That's deep, Corey, man. Like seriously, that's really, really deep. Again, let's let everybody know, man, where they could get the book. Also where they can get the toy at and how they can follow you and get connected. Let's put them platforms out there one more time.
Oh yeah, one more time. You can find me on Instagram at Mr.Corey WILCOX. Same thing with Facebook, Mr.Corey WILCOX. You can find the book at Amazon, Kobo, Apple Books. We got paperbacks and ebooks. You can also find the toy on Amazon, Walmart, and Kohl's, man.
Absolutely, man. Listen, it's the Vibe Show 97.9 with my special guest, the one and only Corey WILCOX. Hey, man, you know you got to come back on here again. And listen, before we get out of here, too, can you drop some gems, man? You've been dropping gems the whole time, but can you drop some gems for anybody that may be low in spirit right now? Spirits might be low, or for any fathers that may be feeling down, man, depressed, and anybody else that, you know, 'cause we got a lot going on with COVID and the whole nine. People are just depressed in the world, out of jobs. Can you just give them some words of uplift, man, and encouragement?
Man, the best thing I can say, what I always say, man, is time goes on, the kid gets older. Once the kid gets older, it's easier to reach. And number two is I always tell people, man, you got to live life, man. Do not sink in a hole, man. You cannot do that, man. Like I even talk about that in my book. You have to socialize. You have to find somebody to talk to, man. You can even find me on my page. Like I talk to everybody. Anybody who messaged me about this stuff, I sit there and have a whole conversation, man. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just trying to impact and touch people, man. And that's the best thing I tell you, man, is don't stick in that hole, man. Continue to live life, man. Find somebody to talk to. Find an outlet. Go play basketball. I don't know, play video games, man. I don't care what you do, but don't sit at home, man, because you sit at home, them thoughts of depression come in. Next thing you know, you out there drinking. Now you thinking about harming somebody, man. So live life, man.
Absolutely. You heard it right there from my special guest, the one and only Corey WILCOX, man. Hey, from me and the Vibe team, and we are wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing, my brother, right now, and everything you're going to be doing in the future, man. Nothing but love. Can't wait to have you back on.
Oh, yeah, man, all day, man.
Again, it's my special guest, the one and only Corey WILCOX. It's the Vibe Show. We out.
Peace.
Get down. I'm down. It's time to get it. We on a mission. Let's take a minute and put all the things that we've been stressing.
That was my special guest, the one and only Corey WILCOX, man. Listen, y'all make sure that y'all go and follow Corey right now. That's Mr. Corey WILCOX right now on IG. Also, y'all make sure y'all log on to that website, man. So many amazing things that this guy is bringing to the table. You got to get that book, man. A lot of gems have been dropped a lot. Also, make sure if you're trying to get that website, you log on to www.corywilcox.com and you can get everything right there. Also, y'all make sure that y'all follow our exclusive Vibe Show 97.9 website, radio station website for the latest updates, man. Streaming music 24/7. We're streaming it, nothing but the hits. That's www.thevibeshow979.net. Also, make sure that you rush over there to the mobile app store and download that exclusive Vibe Show 97.9 mobile app, available in the Google App Store today. Also, if you're not following me, go follow me at Kano the Don 2975 on IG. Listen, I love y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all stay safe. Put y'all mask on, man. Protect yourself. That COVID is real. So make sure that you protect yourself. I love y'all. Y'all keep on living life. Peace, love, and blessings. It's the Vibe Show. I'm out. Let's have a good time. Let's have a good